looking for this?
Here we are. I suppose I've been a box you've been wanting to take for a long time.
Ooh. Gut shot.
If you're gonna kill me,
Kill Renslayer.
just do it.
Kill Renslayer.
I've killed you 1,000 times. In my mind, each time more brutal than the last.
All right.
It's crippling.
I don't think they're going to show that on Disney Plus.
Starting to
Yeah,
realize
definitely
that.
not.
There's power
Where's the
for
Frank
you,
scream
isn't
when
it?
you need?
That's what you want. A seat at the end of time. Well,
Try to manipulate the situation,
be
bro.
careful what you wish for.
Oh. Ooh. Dude, how long have they been? How long has it been since he
I
died?
don't know. Does time work the same? Surely he's not alive. He's still sitting there.
Could he be? Could he? Like they potentially? Could she like potentially resurrect him? Is there like some kind of contingency plan that they? Maybe this was supposed to happen.
Yeah, this is an interesting move.
Oh, no, never mind. Well, no, okay. That doesn't look like it's been super long because his body hasn't completely decayed yet.
Love you.
I should have known. I had him under control until he sabotaged me and made fools of us.
Well, it was foolish of him to make an enemy out of someone who knows all his secrets. I know a really big one about you. I can tell you, but
But what?
it's gonna make you real angry.
Welcome back to BoomShot. I'm Kel. This is Colby.
Yes, sir.
And we just finished watching episode 3 of Loki season 2. What was this episode called?
1983 or
1893. 1983 is the Taylor Swift album.
Dang.
Yeah. Oh, no, we got a Swiftie here, guys. Log off the video, right? No, I'm just kidding. Don't log off the video, but spoiler warning if you haven't seen it. So if you haven't seen it, go log off the video and then come back and watch. But yeah, we're going to be talking about it, and we have some pretty interesting stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about it starting now. Alrighty, so I guess, you know, the question we always start out with, it's become a staple. What'd you think about it?
I thought it was incredible, man.
Yeah.
It had the classic Loki touch, and I'm all for it.
The classic Loki touch, but it's only had 2 seasons. That's how you know. That's how you know it's an instant
And dude,
classic.
it's only 6 episodes per season.
Yeah, that's how you know it's an instant classic.
I mean, yeah, this is only the 9th episode of Loki.
Yeah.
That is crazy to think about, but it was incredible.
Yeah, I thought it was really good too. A lot of what we talked about in our last video came to fruition. They visit the 1893 World, not the Taylor Swift album.
It's like what I did with B-22.
Oh yeah, B-23.
B-23.
Yeah. So they visit like the 1893 Chicago's World's Fair. We do see Victor Timely this episode. That was pretty big. We see Renslayer and we see Miss Minutes. Kind of like we said that if you find Ravonna, then you're gonna find Miss Minutes, and if you find both of them, you're probably gonna find Kang. And that's exactly what happened.
And that's kind of what Loki and they came to the conclusion that we said they would, and then they just stumble into Victor Timely.
Yeah.
Because they didn't expect to see him there. Which I think he had a cool reveal. Because I guess they didn't know it was him, even Loki, until the lights came on.
Yeah.
And then he was like scared. We saw the post-credit scene. It was kind of cool to see the fear instilled.
Yeah.
Of, even though it wasn't like the same He Who Remains, like, just even a variant instills that much fear.
Well, and I think it's also the fact that like it is just like King said what happened, where he said "see you soon." Like you're gonna start seeing a lot more of me soon, and it's cool. Like it's proof that what King said is coming to pass. Yeah. So that was really cool, and it was really sick. Like that's where most of the episode is spent, and from a technical standpoint, like this episode feels a lot different than most of what we've seen in Marvel in general. It felt very, I would say, I guess the best word for me to describe it is quirky. Like, it didn't feel normal Marvel, but it felt pretty good. Like, it was good.
Yeah, I think it was awesome. And it was interesting because they were, like, fighting. Everybody in the episode was, like, fighting over Victor Timely. And he didn't know what was going on, even though he could become and is a variant of He Who Remains. So it was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, also kind of like we predicted, the love triangle that it would exist between. I didn't think it'd be that literal, but the love triangle that exists between Kang, Ravonna, and Miss Minutes.
Dude,
because Ravonna and Miss Minutes both like you said, want Victor Timely, maybe to like be a part of his kingdom or whatever.
That was a horror scene with when Miss Minutes went on that monologue about how much she wanted a body and loved Kang and stuff.
I know. I was like, bro,
that was kind of scary, dude.
You can chill out now.
That was sus, man.
Yeah, that was definitely really sus. But then, like, Ravonna's the same thing. Like, we see them hold hands for a second. I'm like, bro, what are y'all trying to do?
Yeah, and I guess that's a good question, because that last scene, we talked about it a lot, can be seen in two ways. Like, it was all part of their plan. Like, they were just trying to control Kang, or they were trying to push each other out and wanted to be by Kang's side. Or they wanted to work together to control
Kang.
Victor Time, the new He Who Remains. So I don't know.
That final scene definitely did feel very weird. Where like she's I don't know, like it's almost like they were okay with the fact that they ended up where they were at. Like, and I do feel like that was weird, and maybe it's because Renslayer has a temp pad, or maybe there's something that they're supposed to learn from the place at the end of time. But yeah, it seems like Kang's probably been dead, I would say, for a week or so, because he's not fully decomposed yet. But but the castle still collapsed. But the castle's collapsed a lot. Yeah. So like that's the part that was confusing me.
Yeah, but it's still collapsing.
Yeah.
So I feel like it hadn't been too long, but it was interesting. Like the first thing they said is like I had him or whatever. So that's kind of a weird thing to say unless you were planning on working together even still. Yeah. Like, I feel like the first thing she would say is like, yo, why'd you kick me off the boat? Yeah. But she just kind of like let her out freely and was like, I had him.
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Until you sabotage me.
Yeah.
And so I think really what it is then is Renslayer was perfectly willing to work along with Miss Minutes, but Miss Minutes was not willing to work with Renslayer.
Yeah, I like that. Because it showed her getting jealous more than it did
Renslayer. Yeah, Renslayer was fine. She was like, she was okay. But then, like, that whole time that her and Timely are talking, you can see Miss Minutes in the background. And that's when she plots and she's like, I'm going to kick her off the boat. So, yeah, that scene, that whole sequence was just creepy, man. That's even creepier than the jump scare she had in episode 6 of last season, dude. I think it could get creepier than that. But, so I think I come back to we didn't see where Loki gets pruned in episode 1. We didn't get to see that, which is something that we thought might be in this episode. We weren't sure. No. We said it's going to be toward the end.
We said like end of episode 5.
Yeah, in the Nolan theory. You
got a new theory cooking.
Yeah, I got a new theory cooking. So the biggest question for me has been this entire time. I wanted to know, why exactly did Kang rebrand the TVA? Yeah. All right. So like, why was he so willing to step behind the scenes and like instead make 3 timekeepers to govern the TVA? And then it hit me. I was thinking. I was like, okay, we got Renslayer, we got Miss Minutes, and we got OB, right? All of them are kind of what I would say in like management positions. They're not just field agents who prune things. Like Renslayer was like the prime judge. What would you say? Like, OB is the person who makes the rules, and then Miss Minutes is the one who enforces them. And so I started thinking, like, Kang probably split his duties between 3 timekeepers and used like the ethereal, like divine timekeepers as like a means of fear, like a means of controlling fear, but actually placed the 3 timekeepers in plain sight.
Yeah,
and those 3 timekeepers are Renslayer, Miss Minutes, and OB.
And like you said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So there's a reason he changed from like Kang as the face of the TVA to the timekeepers. Yeah. And as far as we know, the only one of the 3, that you're saying memory that got wiped was Renslayer. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe their falling out is what caused Kang to be like behind the scenes. Yeah. And only her memory was wiped. And then he made her the judge.
Yeah, and that's kind of what episode 1 hints at the very beginning, is that you hear these like, he must have had a closer connection with her than he did with everybody else. And so because you could hear it in the audio recordings where he's like, "It's been great ruling with you" or whatever, and that was whenever he was still the face in that conference room. But then Loki gets transported back to the main time, and it's the timekeepers now. So I feel like I still that doesn't explain why he got rid of or like why he put himself behind the scenes, but it does explain that the whole timekeepers theory that they were just like faces of fear, but they actually did exist in the TVA, but nobody really knew it. Like,
yeah, I think we'll definitely see that. Hopefully next episode, I think we'll see a big flashback, kind of like revealing that, and it would be crazy because I'm really getting the feeling that OB is kind of like fooling everybody, and he's a bad guy.
Yeah, and that would fool me for sure.
Yeah, I feel like maybe because Victor Timely, I mean, he's back.
Yeah,
he's back in the TVA, so I feel like OB's just been working with the good guys so that everything doesn't fall apart. And then once everything's settled, he sees Victor. He's like, "What's up, my man?"
Yeah, what's up, my boy?
And then I don't know, man, because I think there's a reason that he let OB keep his name and picture in the handbook that everybody got. So
yeah, and that definitely is weird. I didn't think much of that at first, but then now I'm starting to see where it's like, but even that's like that even reinforces the whole timekeepers thing. Is like the fact that Kang made 3 timekeepers in plain sight was like Miss Minutes was well known around the TVA. Like they used her for pretty much everything, and then OB was the one who made the handbook. And then Renslayer was the prime judge. Like it just goes to show, like they each had their own specific area of authority, and they were like the specific head of it too. So we don't know like what the 3 timekeepers' roles were, I guess, but I'm assuming it probably had something to do with those.
It's a cool theory. I mean, if nothing else, I mean, I'm wanting to see it come true because it's a good theory. But if nothing else, it makes a lot of sense.
It does. Yeah, it definitely does make a lot of sense, even if they don't actually like roll into it. But yeah, I'm definitely with you with the OB. I hope he is actually like secretly working against them because I think that would be a good plot twist. But it feels so unlikely to where even if it did happen, I would be shocked.
Yeah, because I love OB, dude. He's just such a likable guy, and I feel like that's what would make it pull at the heartstrings. But I guess another theory we talked about is that with our boy Arthur on the live stream, is that maybe Miss Minutes and Renslayer used to be one and the same.
And I started thinking about that too, and that's what really led me to the Timekeepers series because, like, think about it. Or no, it was kind of like this: like, Miss Minutes is jealous of Renslayer's like physical body, probably like the fact that she can like actually like be a person and talk to Kang like as a person, and like it makes sense. And then Renslayer probably is I wouldn't say jealous, but maybe like a little bit jealous of the fact that Miss Minutes works so closely with Kang. Yeah. So like, and so if they were the same person, Kang could have like actually split them into 2 separate like Renslayer as a person and her, Miss Minutes as her like soul / like spirit person.
And maybe that's why he said it was nice ruling with you.
Yeah.
Because once he did that. That's when Ravonna's memory began. Mm-hmm. When she became got separated from like Miss Minutes, and then
Ravonna. And then maybe he like polluted Miss Minutes' memory to the fact where she doesn't remember that part. She just thinks she's an AI that was created. Yeah.
It's an interesting theory too. I mean, it crossed my mind while I was watching it. Yeah. And then Arthur brought it up too.
Yeah, you brought that up. Yeah. Because I remember you saying that, and I was like, and then Arthur brought it up, and I was like, the more you think about it, it has some merit to it, for sure.
And Arthur was spot on about this episode. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Arthur was spot on about this episode. The fact that, like, Miss Minutes and Renslayer are trying to, like, I guess, raise up the new Kang silently, whether it be for their own intentions or for his. But, so it actually does beg the question, like, I wonder if there really is a contingency plan. It like... Do you think Miss Minutes was kind of just like using Renslayer only to get to Kang? In a way that wouldn't completely freak him out?
Yeah, I mean, that could be. I feel like almost that Kang did give a contingency plan. It's been a long. Yeah. But did give a contingency plan to Miss Minutes, but also knew that she was going to turn on it. Miss Minutes and Renslayer was going to turn.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe I wouldn't put it past Kang or He Who Remains to know that all of this was going to happen.
Yeah,
and really entrusted OB.
Yeah. And he's kind of, yeah, OB's
and
like,
just entrusted Renslayer and Miss Minutes to bring himself back to OB.
Oh, dude, that makes so much sense now. Like the whole like we need his temporal aura thing. Like we need to get this Kang back to TVA so that way he can.
It was Ouroboros all along.
Yeah, like so we need to get him back to the TVA, and then it's like you have just been crowned king. Like they put him back in his position of authority, and then that's when like everything goes super awry, where we see Loki get pruned. Maybe I don't know, dude. There's something to that.
I like that.
Yeah, I think we figured it out.
Yeah, because another thing we talked about is that it could be OB or Victor Timely himself that prune Loki because they know that Loki is the one that brings him back to the TVA. So
yeah,
there's a lot to it.
Yeah, dude, I'm so confused, man.
And maybe that's why he left OB in that book and gave his younger self the book written by OB, so that way when he went back to the TVA, he'd seek him out.
Oh, he'd know who to look for, yeah.
And OB would be like, "You found me. This was a part of the plan."
And that was a really intentional mention too with the book. He could have just been like, "Hey, I had this TVA guide, and like it has all the rules in there, so this is what this means." Now he was like, "And this is like my hero," because a lot of what he's writing about is where my ideas came from.
Because an odd thing is that, like, why would He Who Remains allow OB to be like the author of that such a big book? Mm-hmm. Maybe it was all a part of the plan that he gives the book to his younger self, so that way when he gets back, he looks for OB. Yeah,
you would think like that he would have the timekeepers right. It's that way, like because if the timekeepers right, then it's unquestionable truth.
Yeah.
There's something to that.
I like that.
There's something to that for sure. But I mean, that pretty much. I would say that pretty much covers all of our thoughts. You got any last things to say?
Yeah, I think that covers what was on my mind.
Yeah, dude, I feel like we kind of cooked again, dude. It's something about Loki, man. It's just, it brings out the best in the channel.
Yeah, I mean, ever since before the channel existed and why the channel exists now, I mean, Loki, it's on top, man.
Yeah, for sure, dude. So, anyway, let us know what you guys thought of episode 3. It was incredible. I definitely, I don't know if it's the best, but it builds on it and leads us to a good place.
Awesome episode. Sure.
Yeah. So anyway, let us know what you guys think. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one.